Welcome to Alternative Investments Chat,
where we demystify the world of alternative investments and financing for entrepreneurs and investors alike.
With these discussions, we hope you're more empowered to unlock opportunities in your business or portfolio. I'm Erin.
And I'm Erica. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Alternative Investments Chat. Today, we're venturing into that wild world of crypto once more. Where fortunes are made overnight and sometimes lost just as quickly.
Yeah, that's unfortunately right. We promised another installment of our Bitcoin series, and it's finally here. And not just about Bitcoin, though we are going to focus a lot on Bitcoin today, but on cryptocurrency. So think of this episode as a campfire for investors, okay? It's about to be Halloween time.
Yes, it is.
We're all huddled around a campfire, but instead of telling ghost stories, we are going to be telling the tales of missing passwords, meme coins gone rogue, and the guy who spent, well, a lot of money, billions, on pizza.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the infamous pizza story.
Well, it's legend now, and as a reminder that behind every success story in crypto, there's usually a "what the heck was I thinking" moment.
For sure. So let's start with the one story that started it all. Back in 2010, a programmer named Laszlo Hanya bought 2 large pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, which at the time was worth about $41. Do you want to take a guess on how much money that's worth today?
In today's money, okay, so let's do a little math here. So you said 10,000 Bitcoin was worth around $41 in 2010, right? Which would mean that one Bitcoin at a time of purchase would have equated to 0.0041 of a US dollar.
Okay.
Guys, for all of those of you listening, this is written down. Do not think I am this smart. But I want to pretend. So now that you know that one Bitcoin is worth a lot more now, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a guess and say that one Bitcoin today is worth about $100,000. So it would be like $1 billion?
Yeah, you're pretty much right on the money there. Right now, at the time of recording, the exact conversion would be $1,157,005,550.
Yeah, that's, I love food, and I am totally fine spending a little bit more by getting it delivered to my house via DoorDash. But that I don't have that kind of coin or Bitcoin,
either
or
one.
anything. So where did he even order the pizza from? Was it even good? I bet it was like garbage.
So it was Papa John's. I'm not sure exactly where you stand on that one, but to me, not worth $1 billion. And to be honest, I don't think I can name a pizza that is.
There you go. That's the real answer right there.
Yeah, but the truth is, even though this was, a fail, it marks the monumental first in history.
That it did.
In 2010, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were just kind of ignored. Most people didn't really give them much thought and certainly didn't imagine that they would someday be worth so much in the future. I mean, there were a few people who thought that, but most people...
We thought those were tin hat people.
Sure, yes. It was kind of like, no way. But this pizza transaction was arranged through a Bitcoin forum and is recognized as the first recorded instance of Bitcoin being used to actually purchase physical goods from the real world. Someone had to be the first, and he made Bitcoin history, and just history in general, by giving Bitcoin its first real-world value.
You're exactly correct right there. So every new asset class has that moment when theory meets reality, right? I guess Laszlo just happened to meet his at Papa John's.
Yeah, that's right. I think the best part about this story, and this is the part that really makes me giggle, is that May 22nd marks Bitcoin Pizza Day. So they couldn't just let this man live in peace. They really had to mark it in
Rub
infamy.
it in a little bit.
Exactly. And you might be thinking that every time that this date rolls around, Laszlo might be wanting to crawl into a hole. But his perspective is really a lot more optimistic. He focuses on the impact that his transaction had on legitimizing Bitcoin instead of the money that he parted with. He has a passion for Bitcoin. He wasn't just an investor, but also a miner as well. And cryptocurrency was a hobby to him, and he believed in the future of this asset class. While he doesn't have a crypto wallet exploding with Bitcoin right now, he takes pride in the fact that over the years he has encouraged people to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, and in fact has given lots of Bitcoins away for exchange of physical goods. He's kind of a pioneer in this area.
I wonder if his therapist also takes Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like he needs a lot of therapy after that. So
he sounds very well adjusted. He's got a good mindset about this.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'd feel the same way if I accidentally spent $1 billion on 2 pizzas.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I would
that's
either.
Okay. That's okay. So now let's cover a coin for the chronically online.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm chronically online. Although when I get my little on Sunday, the little report that your phone sends you of like your screen time,
Yeah.
I'm always religiously down, which makes me feel really good.
That's excellent.
You know,
Good for you.
So anyway, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Dogecoin. I was gonna say Dogecoin. Deutsch? No.
German?
Yeah, no German today. Dogecoin.
Yeah.
But do you know the bizarre backstory of this cryptocurrency?
Tell me more.
I didn't know this until doing this research. So the coin was brought to life by software engineers Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
So Palmer actually purchased the domain name Dogecoin.com, and coincidentally, Marcus came across the website and thought it'd be funny to launch a cryptocurrency with the same name.
Mm-hmm.
So Marcus he reached out to Palmer to pitch his idea, and Palmer was totally in. He was like, "Let's do this, dude." The two started working on Dogecoin together right away.
Yeah, and that's such a wild coincidence to stumble upon a website and say, let's do this.
Yeah,
they weren't even, didn't know each other. Pretty cool. Dogecoin was launched on December 6th of 2013 and pretty much was an overnight success, much to the surprise of both Palmer and Marcus. Yep. And I think the world. It's a perfect example of how internet culture and community can move markets. And let's be honest, investing sometimes follows that emotion more than it does your logic. Mm-hmm. I think people really latched onto their familiarity with the meme and the love of the meme of Doge. And it followed their hearts, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
If we could think back to 2010, the Doge meme was everywhere. The iconic Shiba Inu dog with the side eye, it still it still gets used today.
Yeah, you're right. And people loved it. I was never I didn't get on that bandwagon, but again, we've talked about it in a previous episode. I seem to be late to all of the cool things, but it's totally fine by me. So Dogecoin, I'm going to keep saying Dogecoin. I really want it to be like Dutch or something. Dogecoin developed a strong cult following and kept gaining more buzz through various fundraising campaigns, most notably sending the Jamaican bobsled team to the Sochi Winter Olympics.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, I mean, you know how I love that movie, Cool Runnings. So I'm totally for them helping them get a Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics. And we can't leave out the Doge father.
Yeah.
Mr. Elon Musk over there.
Yeah, we'd be remiss not to mention.
Yeah. So Musk developed an obsession for the coin and brought increased attention to it through his various tweets, his SNL appearances. The guy just loves to talk about himself and all of his things. But it doesn't actually stop there. In 2022, Tesla began accepting Dogecoin as a form of payment. Mm-hmm. Now I wish I had some, because I could have got a car, SpaceX named its satellite Doge 1.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge, created in January of this year, and so much more. Elon just clasped onto that Doge
anything
and
he can
ran
name
with it.
That's what it's going to be called.
Yeah. But the point is that Musk's passion for the coin contributed a lot to its popularity, of course, because some people think that he's very smart, and his actions have proven to greatly influence the coin's value on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
so
up and down.
A lot of people either follow or jump off depending on what he's doing. So the takeaway here: don't underestimate the power of a meme.
Yeah.
Or the movement behind one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Now, not all hype has a happy ending, as we know. I think that we can recall at least one story of a crypto coin that was promoted by a celebrity or an influencer, only for it to tank, usually pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There are a couple well-known crypto schemes, so let's start with what is called a rug pull. In 2021, the cryptocurrency Squid appeared, inspired by the hit Netflix show Squid Game. The coin promised access to a fan-made game that was supposed to be coming out fairly soon based on the show, and fans were going crazy for it. I think, if we remember during the time when Squid Game first came out, it was everywhere. People were obsessed with it. People were dressing up as characters for Halloween.
Yep, I remember seeing them out there.
Yes, people were trying the games themselves, people like buying the Dalgona and like trying to do it.
Yeah.
So, there was an obsession. But another huge selling point for this game actually was that supposedly winners of the game would be rewarded in the Squid coins, and then you could utilize those coins to trade for other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum or et cetera. So, similar to the actual show, if you're a winner, you get money. But very quickly, the coin skyrocketed to $2,861 per coin.
Oh, wow.
So people were interested, raising that price rapidly. But some investors started to get a little bit concerned, rightfully so, when they went to sell some of their coins and realized they couldn't do it. They could not sell it. There was no mechanism or way for them to sell the actual coins. So just as the alarm bells are starting to go off, the coin's value tanks to $0, like it's worthless. And the project's website and social media pages vanished, and it became pretty obvious that Squid developers had liquidated and ran off with their money, and estimated $3.38 million.
That's a lot of money, and I feel so bad for all those investors who thought this was a great idea and something new.
Yeah.
That stinks. That really, really stinks. While it wasn't an influencer exactly that was promoting the coin, Squid benefited from the existing hype of the show.
Yeah.
And even trusted name of Netflix, even though the coin had no affiliation with either. That's the thing. They took something that they knew people were really enjoying and latched onto.
And tricked people.
Exactly.
Yep. And you know what's kind of funny, actually, in Squid Game Season 2, and I'm not going to give any real spoilers, so don't worry if you haven't caught up yet. We are introduced to a new character. His name is Player 33 in the game, but he's really, his nickname is MG Coin. He is actually a cryptocurrency influencer.
That's kind of funny.
And he actually committed a rug pull and cost his followers millions of dollars, and ended up joining the game as a fugitive. He's like running from the law, and he joins the games to try to pay back his debts. So it hasn't been confirmed, but it seems like this character may have been inspired by the whole Squid Coin scandal.
Yeah, we'll talk about pop culture there and alternative assets colliding. Just boom, right off the bat. So now another popular scam is what we like to call the pump and dump. So this happens when scammers artificially inflate the price of a coin in order to sell it for profit before the crash comes.
Yep.
We've seen this in regular stocks as well, not even just in cryptocurrency.
Yep.
So the quick sell creates an overwhelming supply. Without enough demand, prices tanks, and investors still holding their coins lose the money. Okay.
Yep.
And this is exactly what happened in 2022, which a lawsuit alleges. Remember, allegedly happened with the coin Safe Moon. Thankfully, I never heard about this one until we were brought up in this script that we were researching. So this coin was promoted by well-known celebrities, including Jake Paul, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, and Nick Carter, R.I.P.
Nick Carter's still alive.
Nick Carter,
it's
his
Erin
brother.
Carter.
Oh, sorry.
My first crush.
Oh, so sad. The Carters.
Very sad.
Well, however, this lawsuit alleges that these celebrities didn't simply advertise the coin, but they held large chunks of it. So they encouraged investors to hold onto their coin instead of selling.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, They allegedly sold theirs. They're at the peak prices and got a generous payday. So SafeMoon plummeted and essentially worthless now. So this illustrates the dark side of FOMO. Again, remember, I'm always on the back side of FOMO, so I probably would have missed this one too. But the excitement, the celebrity tie-ins, and the get in now energy sounds all great until the project disappears overnight, right?
Yeah,
so those guys made money, and then that's, again, really...
Allegedly.
But
that's what the lawsuit implies and says and accuses. But it is a modern reminder to always do your own research and know that hype isn't a financial strategy.
No, speaking of losing it all, let's talk about lost crypto keys.
Yeah, so this is my ultimate nightmare, personally. If you forget your password in crypto or you misplace maybe a physical password that you use, if you're using like two-factor authentication or whatever, your money, poof, essentially gone forever. Basically, a private key is a top secret code that is generated by your cryptocurrency wallet to secure your coins. And this is something that people like about cryptocurrency because it makes it hyper secure. You need your key to verify that you are the owner of those coins, and it keeps your coins super secure. However, if you lose if you lose your password, forget your key, lose the actual key, because some people utilize like a hard drive or a USB, you lose your coins. And, you know, I can barely remember my Facebook password. So
I know. Well, isn't that the truth? I mean, trust me, everything requires a password these days. And I'm like, what did I use? What did I do?
Yep.
And then if you allow it to create your own, the strong password, it's just numbers and letters and nonsensical. And I'm not going to remember that. So, but no one knows this better than Stephen Thomas. Okay. So who in 2011 was paid roughly around 7,000 Bitcoin in exchange for making an educational video. The Bitcoin was stored on Iron Key USB drive. And in 2012, he lost the password.
Yeah.
Now, here's the crazy part. There are only 10 password attempts allowed on the USB drive before it permanently locks. And as of now, Thomas has actually used 8 of them.
Yeah, that makes me very nervous.
I'm clinching just thinking of this. Like, I know. It's like, wrong. I'm like,
yeah. I know that he's actually working with several teams to get into this USB drive. So not all hope is lost quite yet. Yeah. But I personally would be losing my mind if I knew that there was $810 million on there.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
Not like a 20 spot where you're just like, never mind, it's totally fine. Like,
it's not even like $1,000. It's not even 10 grand.
Yeah.
$810 million.
Million.
People dream about that money.
Yeah.
And most people in this life never see money like that.
No.
And it's just sitting in a USB drive.
I'm like my whole body just tensed again talking about this. I'm like,
super rough. Yeah. Not ideal.
No.
But unfortunately, that's not the only example of a devastating tale that we have here today. There is another one, and that is the search for James Howell's hard drive. In 2013, Howell's girlfriend, at the time, accidentally threw away a hard drive containing 8,000 Bitcoins.
Nice.
Yeah. Since then,
Thanks.
Howell's has been trying to track it down, which, of course, anybody would. He believes it's actually buried somewhere in a Newport landfill in Newport in England, not Newport in California.
Got it.
And he has made several attempts to search this location, but so far he's had no luck. And to be honest with you, the landfill has not been super cooperative. The government hasn't been super cooperative. They don't really
don't care.
A guy digging through the trash.
Right.
But because he's had no luck, he actually hopes to purchase the landfill to continue his search without having additional trash added each day. Because if you think about it, more trash is coming in. That's just more stuff you have to look through. Yep. So he wants to stop it and just spend some time searching. The acquisition of the landfill at this time has not been successful, but James, I'm rooting for you. I really hope you find it. Do something great with it if you do find it.
Well, what? He's going to get the land back after he finds it. But I mean, could you imagine driving past your retirement essentially every single day buried under a pile of trash? You just drive by, you're like, I know you're in there.
Yeah.
I know. It's like the financial version of ghost hunting. You're like, speak to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Moral of the story, well, back up your backups, I guess.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah.
Also, maybe just like label something important with like, please don't throw away or don't touch my things.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. It's just an idea.
Lock it up, maybe.
Yeah.
Put it in a safe.
She was just trying to help you out, homie. And I imagine that your house is disgusting. And she's like, let me help clean this up. And she just swooped it right into a trash can.
That's what I'm imagining.
And didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, poor girl. She probably has some guilt about that. But, here's the thing. Crypto is filled with hero and horror stories, right? Mm-hmm. For every person who has lost millions, there's also stories that we hear about people who've gained financial freedom, flexibility, or financial independence.
You're exactly right there. And Dogecoin's rise, the Bitcoin pizza, the influencer bubble, they all show us how innovation and risk go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. But these aren't just cautionary tales, unfortunately. They're learning moments about timing, emotion, and preparation. So crypto isn't for the faint of heart. We know this. But if you understand the volatility, you might just find opportunities where others see chaos.
So whether your team hold forever or team never again, it's like Team Edward versus Team Jacob, remember that every crypto investment comes with a story. Some are the horror stories, some are the triumphs, but all of them contain lessons. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode today on Alternative Investments Chat. In case you forgot where you were, tune in next time. We're going to continue to talk about our Bitcoin series. Might not be the exact next episode that comes out, but stay tuned. We're definitely not going to stop the conversation here.
Nope, we've got one in the works.
Yeah, and we're going to dig into what the future might hold for cryptocurrency.
I'm excited to do that one.
And, what does that mean for all of us? So we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more insight on our next episode.
And don't forget to subscribe to continue the Alternative Investments Chat.
See you next time.
Content provided in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as professional, financial, or investment advice. This podcast should not be construed as an offer to sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy any securities. We strongly recommend that you seek advice from a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.